Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. My name is Alex, and in this video I'll tell you about an American arrested for robbing a donation box. A Hungarian man causes commotion on the side of the building collapse in Bangkok. China arrests 3 Filipinos for spying, plus much more, beginning with the USD to peso exchange rate. Right now, looking like we're losing a bit more ground. $1 equal to 57.17. Here's our main story. A 62-year-old American man was arrested in Pattaya, Thailand after being caught red-handed breaking into a charity donation box outside the local police station. The incident occurred in the early hours of April 2nd. The man, identified as John, explained that he had lost his ATM card and resorted to stealing because he was hungry. CCTV and quick police response led to his apprehension as he stuffed coins and notes from the Father Ray Foundation donation box into his wallet. The theft, though minor in monetary value, was deeply symbolic. Stealing from a charitable organization is considered a grave offense in Thailand. The man's explanation has sparked mix of sympathy and disapproval, with many questioning the desperation that leads to such actions. The event has also prompted discussion around social safety net available for foreigners in distress. Despite his circumstances, John will face legal consequences in his actions. Forget about his circumstances. What's wrong with you, man? Come on, bro. $1 to $2 in Thailand will get you the most delicious foods possible, have you licking the plate in no time. Bro, what are you doing? Come on, man. You just say you're hungry to any vendor out there. Even like if you don't know no Thai, you don't need to. They understand that kind of English. Just point to your little belly and say, num, num, num. They'll go ahead and give you some food. What are you doing stealing from a charitable donation box? Come on, man. I want to slap the taste out your mouth, but I don't know you like that. But seriously, all jokes aside, come on, please. What do you, like, save $1 or $2? It's not that much money. And how much are you spending when you don't have a little bit of cash on you? I don't even believe his excuse. Don't be that guy. Don't be in that situation. Pattaya draws some of the most despicable people. But this guy's probably drunk or high or whatever, spent his money on some ladies and now he's got nothing else, and decide, hey, look, some free money outside. Let me go ahead and reach in there and grab some of this. Come on, man. Don't do that kind of stuff. Don't be that guy. Represent yourself with respect, your country, your peers, just yourself as a human being. Save $1 or $2 at the end of the night after having some fun. And then the Philippines government confirms arrest of 3 Filipinos in China for alleged espionage, noting that it has already coordinated the Chinese government to ensure that these allegations are tried with due process and with full respect to the rights of the said Filipinos. Foreign Affairs spokesperson Teresita Daza said they have been formally made aware of the allegation against the 3 Filipinos who are currently detained in China. Quotes, the Philippines Consulate General is in Guangzhou is providing all necessary assistance, including appropriate legal support for the said Filipinos, said the spokesperson. I wonder if this is any kind of retaliation for what's been going on in the Philippines with all those Chinese men being arrested for espionage. Yeah, you can't help but to think the Chinese government is doing a little bit of retaliation when it comes to just taking people and saying they are being charged for spying. Staying with Filipinos abroad, the overseas Filipino workers who were detained in Qatar due to illegal protesting have been released, according to Migrant Worker Secretary Hans Leo. So I guess that's good news. Once again, guys, try to be aware of foreign laws when it comes to gatherings and protests. A lot of countries, especially in the Middle East, you can't even gather with a group of people to have a coffee, you know? So be careful what you're doing. I know it sounds ridiculous and crazy, but there are actually laws like that where you're basically seen as trying to conspire against the government. So be aware of such laws in whichever country you're traveling through. Now, here's something that I just have to talk about because it affects the whole world. This is based on what Donald Trump recently released, all those tariffs, the president of the United States. So also Philippines have been hit with 17% as well. So it's not just, random countries. Manila is downplaying the impact of the U.S. President Donald Trump's 17% tariff on its exports, saying the impact is minimal. This comes after a whole week of anticipation when the U.S. president unveiled sweeping new tariffs on trading partners Wednesday, calling it, quote, declaration of economic independence. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but let's see what Thailand is saying regarding these tariffs. Although Philippines is downplaying the tariffs, Thailand is not. So Thailand faces growing pressure after the United States imposed steep 36% tariff on Thai imports. A Thai economist linked the move to an economic earthquake. Urging immediate government action, he proposed the creation of a, quote, war room involving both public and private sectors to manage the impact. With global trade influx, Thai exports are under threat and Chinese investment may now be delayed. This highlights the far-reaching effects of the U.S. economy's emergency measures, which are also affected over 100 countries globally. Urgency is needed as the fallout could be long-term. If you are sleeping under a rock, I guess, I don't want to be offensive, but this is all over the news, all over social media, whichever age group you are in. The U.S. president wants to go ahead and impose very high, in some cases, taxes on over 100 countries, according to articles and release. So what does that mean? What are tariffs and how does it affect the regular consumer? I'm not an economist, but I'm a realistic, practical person. I don't support any side. I don't think so. I'm just a very normal dude that wants to think of himself first and how it's affecting me. Because I earn US dollars, that obviously is affecting me. It's affecting the USD exchange rate to the peso. It's affecting everything, all the goods that I'm buying. So a tariff is a tax imposed on imports, right? So say I'm buying like an iPhone and the US has 30% tariffs on China and metals and all that stuff. So electronics, let's put it that way. When an iPhone comes in at $1,000, I'm gonna pay $1,300 because of 30% tariff, right? So, and now usually we, the consumers, pay that tax. It's not the exporting country, for example, China or whatever, right? So at the end, this is a lot of different levels, a lot that I obviously don't know about enough. It might be some short-term pain, as they say, and long-term gain. All this stuff, I just know about my day-to-day life. It's affecting me. I don't believe in it because the other countries simply going to do the same thing. They're going to reciprocate because Canada and the U.S. have been friends and allies and had this whole free trade agreement for the longest time. And now even a lot of Canadian businesses are saying don't buy American-made. So I don't see how this is going to help anybody, to be honest, except for rich, elite, millionaire, billionaire people that have all kinds of agendas. Once again, I feel like I might be talking out of my ass, but this is just coming from a dude that's just see it as a practical problem in my life, right? Yeah, because the USD is losing a little ground. The markets are getting hit. So whatever's happening in the US, I hope it doesn't happen for too long. Somehow they come up with a better kind of system, or we just have to take the hit as consumers and watch these rich people get even richer. Next up, drunken Hungarian tourist causes chaos at Bangkok collapse site. A Hungarian man caused quite a commotion at the site of the recent building collapse in Bangkok, reportedly intoxicated. He claimed his friends were trapped under the debris and attempted to force his way past the restricted area. Authorities intervened quickly to de-escalate the situation. The man had arrived from Hungary and hired a taxi for a hefty 4,000 baht fare, that's about $120, with plans to visit the collapse site before continuing on to Pattaya. Of course, where else, right? When the incident unfolded, he was found behaving erratically and demanding action at the scene. Interestingly, he later refused to pay the agreed fare and offered only just 300 baht, so that's $10, leading to further complications. After apologizing to officials, he opted to resolve the fare dispute with the driver at the police station. This unusual episode highlights the challenges responders face in disaster zones, not only from environmental but also from unexpected human behavior. Another entitled foreigner tourist thinking that you can just basically do whatever he wants. Nah, man, more and more people like this are getting arrested. I'm glad the authorities are taking this kind of stuff seriously, hopefully preventing, there's over like 35 million people that come into Thailand, so it's only a handful of people still that misbehave this way. Now, staying with Hungary, here's the next story that I found very interesting. Funny how Hungary makes two stories on Asia now, but trust me, it's related. Hungary on Thursday said it will quit the International Criminal Court just as the Prime Minister Viktor Orban hosted Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu, whom the tribunal has accused of war crimes in Gaza. Oh, okay, I see. So Duterte gets arrested, even though the Philippines is not part of the ICC. But Hungary gets to simply say, oh, we're no longer part of it. But Netanyahu, suspected war criminal with an arrest warrant against him, that nothing happens to him, and they simply say, nah, we're no longer part of this group that we agreed to be part of. So the whole ICC thing is also kind of like, if nobody's going to follow the rules, what is the point of it? They have no military power, right? They have no, what are they going to do? It's kind of like a, what's the point of having rules if nobody follows them, right? And I think this is why so many people get away with doing so many things at a much, much higher level than you and I breaking a simple rule. So yeah, that's that. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about some quick stories. A special promotion fare flight from Manila to Canada are now available until April 10th, where direct flights from Vancouver to Manila should be launched soon. That's fantastic. I guess, for me actually personally, I'd rather have that flight broken up. I cannot sit on a plane for like 16, 18 hours straight, so I don't mind that layover. What do you think? Leave your comments down below. Do you prefer that very long flight, or do you prefer it to be split into two, where you can take a break, your butt cheeks and your legs, and take a rest a little bit before getting back on that plane to finish up your trip? And lastly, the Philippines English as second language ESL sector continues to expand its reach as an emerging tourism product, attracting new international markets each year, according to the Department of Tourism. Definitely, I'm here in Cebu, and I see all kinds of Koreans, Japanese, Russians, Taiwanese, different types of Chinese, of course, international tourists that come here for language. There are many schools here, online and in person. Filipinos speak English really well, and the other sad part of it, I guess, they get paid a very, very a small amount of money compared to a native English speaker, but they work just as hard or even harder probably. And now it's time for our segment Yesterday Today, where I read some of the most popular comments regarding our previous video. But I'd like to start off by thanking a few people that bought me a coffee. Patrick has bought me a coffee. He says, thanks for your coverage. Thank you, Patrick. Someone bought me a coffee and says, any clown showing disrespect to Filipino people or property should be blacklisted. Hell, if someone is arrested, they should be shown the door forever. An adult isn't going to change their ways. I agree. Thanks for that coffee. And Brad also bought me 3 coffees. Hello from Toronto, Canada. Enjoy your content. We're a Filipino-Canadian couple. Cheers. Thank you all for those coffees. I really do appreciate it. They do make a huge difference. Manny says, I hope the Philippines government makes an example of him. Wend says, glad to see him paying for disrespect. And Lilan McKeever says, the Russian YouTuber needs to be blacklisted from the Philippines. Basically, everybody's very happy that this man has been arrested and gonna be blacklisted and deported. But let's see if he serves any time before any of that. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow before I do a live stream on Monday. Yeah, enjoy your day. Bye. Phil Jill says, when it comes to Vitaly, this is the time when you